So we are finally back with another YouTube video, and today I want to share some value, okay? Sharing some value on how you can grow and scale your OnlyFans creator. You know, you just signed a model. Now what are the next steps in order for them to grow? Now you're going to be met with so many different variables within this agency space that you need to understand how to adapt and how to change your approach based on the client that you sign. Now, although your desire to succeed may be extremely high, the client that you sign, their desire to succeed may be low, or they don't have the time to dedicate towards OnlyFans, or they don't have the energy to dedicate towards OnlyFans. But you need to still show that you can get results and make their workload work for them, especially if you're in the infancy of your agency page. You don't have the luxury of handpicking who you want to sign, who you want to work with, which models you want to take on board. You kind of get what you give them and you make it work, whether they're lazy, whether they're hard working. So what we're going to go over today is how you're going to adapt your marketing strategy based on your client's ambition to succeed, because ultimately you're going to have one or two options. The first option is the model is going to be lazy. Now I should specify, this doesn't necessarily mean lazy models. This could be busy models. They've got kids, they've got a family. Putting them all under the category of lazy would be extremely unfair for me to do. But for the purpose of not having enough room on the whiteboard, that's just what I'm going to say, okay? So models who can't put in the work, they can't dedicate the full time needed in order to really grow things as quickly as possible. So as an agency, you need to figure out what can we do to drive traffic to the page? What can we do in order to grow as quickly as possible with the limited content we have accessible to us? They've expressed that they've got a busy workload. They work full time. This is a side thing for them. Well, then in which case you need to focus on marketing materials that's going to be mainly agency dependent. You can't say, okay, well, we need you to go live 5 times a week. We need you doing 20 reels per day, and we need you to start producing YouTube videos. How can they possibly meet those demands? They can't. So you need to work around their workload. Based on your workload, what we're going to focus on is the likes of Threads, Twitter, Reddit, because these are primarily agency dependent strategies that you can utilize. So let's break them down. Your model is lazy, and we're going to do lazy versus hard working, and we're going to base the marketing strategies around these variables. So if they're lazy, you have Reddit, you have Twitter, you have Threads. So if we're talking about organic marketing, organic traffic, your best bets are going to be Reddit, Twitter, and Threads. Because what you can do with these platforms is you only need certain photos. Now, of course, the photos that your client produces has to be up to the good standard, has to be up to the quality of other viral content that's going viral within these platforms. The good thing is they're not having to do stupid hours. They just need to do a few photos for you per day, 10 photos for you per day. Any model can meet them demands. It's really not that hard to get that. And what that's going to allow you to do is grow as quickly as possible on these platforms. Now, the more photos you can get, the better it's going to be for you, because you can avoid account bans, you can avoid shadow bans, you can avoid spam, you can avoid spam botting and all these different things. But Reddit, how are you going to use Reddit? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to take certain characteristics from your client. You're going to take certain looks from your client, certain niches from your client, and you're going to start pushing her in that direction. You have a redhead model, you're going to start putting her in redhead subreddits, because you're reaching an audience that like redhead girls. So to then put her in that category, you're already meeting an audience that has an appeal for your specific client. So that way you're already getting warm leads through the door, and that's going to gravitate their attention towards your model, and it's going to bring them to the model's OnlyFans. The next thing, okay, is Twitter. Now, other subreddits, what are their assets, okay? What have they got that's unique about them? Tattoos, short hair, long hair, their physique, are they go to the gym, are they a bit chubby? You know, there's so many different subreddits, and you can really home in on the certain characteristics of your model, because you're going to start appealing to different demographics that caters towards the likeliness of your client. So you can start appealing straight to a demographic that likes characteristics from your client, and you can gravitate their eyeballs to your OnlyFans. Twitter, okay, how are you going to grow Twitter? Well, with Twitter, once again, you only need photos, okay? Photos, you can start comment baiting under trending posts. So what's going viral right now? What's trending right now? What topics are people talking about? And you can put a picture of your client underneath the comments, you can make an engaging comment bait, and you can bait a reaction. You can get eyeballs, you can get attention based on the virality of someone else or something else, and you can gravitate that attention to your client. That way you're going to be able to grow organically and get more eyeballs on your client. What else can you do? You can do retweet for retweet. So you can start networking with other clients, other models out there that are doing these retweet for retweet groups. You can enter yourself inside, and you can start retweeting other people's posts, and they will start retweeting yours. Why is this good? Because they're going to be retweeting your pictures to their audience, and their new audience are going to see your face. More people are seeing your model's face, more people people are converting to the page. Now, I can do a more in-detailed video on each and every one of these categories, but for this one, I'm going to brush over everything. Threads, you can get away with posting the same 5 photos over and over and over again. There really is no limits on how much you can spam pages. I've seen pages blow up with one caption, one photo, and they post the same thing 20 times a day. So that gives you the luxury of still going viral with the limited content you have available to you. So finding out what's going viral on Threads right now, finding out what style of content you need, and basing the marketing plan that you give your client is going to base around the pictures you need to perform on each and every one of these platforms. But the good thing is, a lot of the content that you need is going to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Okay, the same picture you upload to Threads can be uploaded to Twitter and Reddit. So now you're getting the most out of the content. Now you're expanding your capabilities with the content you have available to you, because the same piece of content, the same photo sets, the same video sets are being repurposed across multiple different social media platforms, hitting multiple different audiences, and all these different audiences are converting to the OnlyFans. So a couple more you can use if your model is lazy or not hardworking. Now I'm going to put it in there, dating apps. Is this a good method to use? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. Is it beginner friendly? No. So if you're not in a position where you have the funds to really learn dating apps, to invest into the infrastructure that dating apps needs, probably something that I would completely leave off the table. But what you can do that I see people perform really well is Reels. Now you might be asking, how can I grow a client with Reels if the model isn't able to give me the Reels that I need to go viral? Because Reels is the best performing platform right now. It converts the best, it's the best for brand building, and it's the best for getting new eyeballs on a big scale to your client. Now what you can do is face swap, okay? You can put your client's face on other people's work, on other people's efforts, and you can start going viral that way. Is it going to perform as well? Probably not. Is it going to convert as well? Probably not. Is it going to give you a benchmark of foundations of audience on Reels, on Instagram? Yes. Is the Reels growth going to then support the Threads growth? Yes, because they're both connected to Meta. Is this going to be a proof of concept that your model can go viral because she has a good looking face for her to be motivated to then start filming more Reels for you? Yes. So there is an argument that face swap Reels is still going to be beneficial for you if you're in the infancy of your agency and you want to grow as quickly as possible. You can use face swap. So there we have the marketing methods you can use in order to grow your client if they are lazy or they don't have the time available to them to give you as much content as you need. Based on that information, you know the social medias you're going to attack. You're going to create a content plan based around these platforms, understanding what's going viral, what's working, condensing that into a plan for her to copy with inspiration, with certain targets. And that way, you're going to have everything you need to grow on these social media platforms without impacting her workload, whilst being proactive as a manager and whilst making money for both yourself and the client. So what are we then going to do if you have a hardworking model? Well, first of all, you're going to do all of that because this is good regardless if your model is hardworking or lazy. The good thing is, if they're hardworking, you're going to get more content, you're going to get more variety, and you're going to be able to experiment a little bit more with the style of content that's uploaded to these platforms. But if your model is hardworking, what are some more avenues that you want to explore to get the very most out of the page and the monetization and the brand building? Well, you've got TikTok lives. Why is this good? Well, the reason this is good is because if you post a reel, you kind of have to hope that it goes viral. You kind of have to wait for it to gain traffic in order for it to then monetize fans to the OnlyFans. The reason TikTok lives is so good is because you're getting that interaction in live form. You're not waiting for a video to go viral. You're speaking to the end user within the TikTok live. They're in the chat, they're speaking with you, they're watching your live, and you can convert them to the live. So the reason TikTok lives is so good is because you're not waiting for a video to go viral to then gain engagement to then convert to the OnlyFans. You can actually convert them to the OnlyFans in the live format while speaking to them there and then. You can gain attention. You can then monetize that attention by saying, I'm going live on my other site, or come chat to me on my other site. And you can literally tell them to go and subscribe, okay? You have that in real time engagement to be able to speak to these fans, tell them to subscribe, give them a call to action to subscribe, give them an incentive to subscribe, okay? And that way you're going to be able to convert them straight away. You can have a 30-minute live and you can come off of that live with 30 new subscribers. You can't have that same response when you upload to TikTok and expect it to have 30 subs in 30 minutes. It doesn't work like that. But with TikTok lives, you can. So it's super crucial that your client is doing these if they have the time to do so. The next point is Twitch. Now, unlike TikTok lives, Twitch is much better for brand building, okay? Because you can plan certain things. You can have a gaming niche, a cooking niche, just speaking. You can do anything in real life streams, okay? You can plan and coordinate different types of live streams that caters towards the model, her niche, her demographic, type of audience she's appealing to, and you can really start building her brand on this platform. Now, the reason it's so good is for multiple reasons. The first reason is, once again, you're getting that in real-time engagement with these fans. You can convert them straight away. You can speak to them, give them the same incentives, the same call to actions in order to subscribe. But secondly, and most importantly, it's much better for brand building. People are going to be able to access the lives whenever they want. People are going to be able to go back and rewatch them. You can then use these live streams to benefit you in other ways. Okay, so it's going to be super solid for brand building, converting fans at a high level, and most importantly, converting high quality fans. Okay, the fans that come from Twitch, they're not going to be low quality. They're going to be watching you hours on end. They're going to build a rapport, a connection, speaking with you in chats, converting to the OnlyFans. The relationship is already warmed. It's already ready for your chatters to then monetize as best as possible. So that's why that Twitch is really good. And the last one I'm going to put down for now is YouTube. Now, the reason YouTube is so good is because it gives the viewer a deeper understanding of the model. It's all good doing Reels, TikTok, and viral short form content, but YouTube gives a new aspect of the client, a new outlook of the client. They get to see her on a longer basis, a longer form, so they can get in touch with her personality more. They can understand what she likes doing. You know, different aspects of her life that they enjoy to watch is going to be all included within the YouTube. And of course, you can pivot it down to different niches, different styles of content, but regardless, you're going to be able to gain a lot of attention, a lot of eyeballs, and a lot of high quality traffic from YouTube. And of course, it's excellent for brand building, for the longevity of your client, for keeping her relevant, for keeping her popping, and really building a captivated audience around your client. Twitch and YouTube is going to be crucial for doing so. And the final point on why the likes of Twitch and YouTube is going to be so crucial is because you can then support the growth of all these platforms here. You can cut up the YouTube video into different shorts. You can cut up the Twitch stream into different shorts. So now you can create so much short form content based on an hour's Twitch stream, based on a 10-minute YouTube video. Think of all the 30-second reels you can create just from that content alone. And that's going to support the growth of reels, support the growth of YouTube shorts, support the growth of TikTok. All these short form content platforms can be supported by the long form content outlets. Okay, so that's what you're going to do if your model is lazy. This is what you're going to do if your model is hardworking. Of course, if she's hardworking, you're going to tick all of these boxes because you want to be doing as much as possible to get as many eyeballs as possible. Now, of course, yes, she is hardworking, but maybe she can't do everything. So work out what's going to be priority for her brand, what's going to be priority for her personality. Okay, because she may be excellent at Twitch and excellent at YouTube, which means dating apps doesn't really matter because she's more personality based, whereas dating apps is more looks based. Okay, same with Threads, same with Reddit. If her main thing is being a really positive personality, then you can really home in on that. And you can't do that on these platforms. You have to do that on Reels, YouTube, Twitch, all these different things. So with that being said, that is the end of the video. I hope this was beneficial on what you need to be doing as soon as you sign that client, as soon as you're condensing a marketing plan for that client, and how you can really structure that based on their availability, their work schedule, their desire to succeed, and of course, how you can alter your marketing strategy based on these things. Okay, of course, if your model is lazy to begin with, maybe she has a full-time job, you can focus on these aspects, but then you start making her enough money to quit her job, and then you can start transitioning into these aspects now she has more time on her hands. So hope this video was valuable. Make sure to drop me a follow on Instagram, drop a little subscribe in the video. If you're someone who's looking to get involved in the OFM space, then drop me a DM. If you're a model that's looking for a manager and you're just struggling to get things off the ground, drop us a message and we can certainly help one way or another. So with that being said, subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.